Hello, my lovelies. I hope you've had a good week. I hope that everything has gone your way. I hope Monday wasn't as bad as I said it was. And I hope everything is calm, cool, and collected so that way this weekend, if you have the luxury of having the weekend off, you can breathe and renew and rest yourself. So topic for today. There is a topic that keeps coming up and it gets brought up in different ways. The topic that keeps getting brought up kind of skirts around, what do I do when I grow up? What do I be when I grow up? It's this topic that kind of skirts around decision making and knowing who you are. So if you know who you are, then your decisions aren't so overwhelmingly hard. Now, I'm not going to say they're not hard. Being an adult is just hard, all right? There's always a decision that has to be made. Sometimes they're insignificant decisions like what to eat for dinner tonight, or should I cook or should I order out, right? But sometimes they're really significant decisions, like, do I leave my job and go find a new one? Can I leave something that I love? Or should I stay with it, right? Sometimes they're really gut-wrenching decisions. Recently, because of the pandemic, I've questioned my teaching, right? There was a point where I might have had to go back on campus, and my health, I can't do that. So my decisions were being forced to look at, right? I had to look at my decisions, and none of them were great. Now, I'm lucky enough that I am going to continue working from home, so I'm very lucky for that. But there was a decision to be made if I had it. And that decision's very hard. And I'm not the only one that makes hard decisions. I'm not the only one that has to. I've also talked to students, my previous students. They're like, Miss M, I don't know what to do with the rest of my life. It's okay. You don't have to. I didn't start going to college to teach until I was 24. Up until that point, I kind of meandered around, figured out what I wanted to do, and kind of it was an aha moment for me. You may never get that aha moment. It's okay. What I'd like for you to do is stop comparing yourself to everyone else. It's not fair. You're not on their path. You haven't had their privileges or their non-privileges. You didn't have their life experience. So you can't be on their timeline. You're on yours. You're on yours alone. And as much as that might sound pessimistic, it's not. The fact that you're on your own timeline means you get to make your timing. You get to decide when things need to happen for you. Stop comparing yourself to everybody else. Be unique. You are. You aren't like anybody else. It's one of the reasons that my teaching philosophy is the way it is, that I refuse to kind of keep the same lesson plans year after year. Why? Well, you're all different people. You're all experiencing life differently. You're all individuals, and you need to be treated that way. Why is that important? I want you to be successful. I want you to identify what's unique about you. If you don't know what you want to be, it's fine. That's fine. And like I've said in one of the videos previous to now, volunteer. Volunteer. Figure out what you like. I've been able to volunteer in different organizations, and I found things that I liked and things I didn't like. But each volunteer experience, you know what that did to me? That made me better at what I am passionate about. It made me learn something different and start honing my abilities. So volunteer, right? Miss M, I don't have the money or the time to volunteer. Well, most of the time, money isn't a thing for volunteering. They just want you to show up and lift some things or maybe put some things away, right? So most of the time, it's not money, it's your time. Now, if it's a priority, you'll make time. Such as these videos for me. I get sick a lot, guys. A lot. And I have to make a priority for this video, right? Make a priority for this video, but I also have to remind myself that I am on no one else's timeline but my own. Okay? No one else's timeline but my own. But I make a priority for this video, so I do it. Don't be on anybody else's timeline. It's one of the reasons I hate standardized tests. Ugh. And if you're one of my babies, you know how much I don't like those tests, right? You're not everybody else, and that's beautiful. That's absolutely amazing that you're not like everybody else. Quit putting yourself on that timeline. You don't belong there. You belong on yours. If I would have listened to everybody else, my timeline would have been all kinds of screwed up. All kinds of screwed up, right? I had a baby at 19. I had a second baby at 20. By the age of 21, I was divorced. By the age of 24, I had another child. So according to everybody else's timeline, I did things all weird and wrong. I went to school at age 24. After I had my third child, I went back to college. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, and there was only one way to get there, and that was to go to school. I had a really amazing manager. And Marshall, if you're watching, you always know that I say thank you to you for this. I had a really amazing manager that looked at me one time and she said, "Shalisa, you get to decide what makes you happy, and right now you're not happy. So what is your happy?" I went home that night and I thought about it. And I had wanted to be a teacher since I was 4, guys. I did. I used to teach my stuffed animals how to read. So I looked up some tuition costs and some financial aid options and wrote my resignation letter and turned it in the next day. Told her I'm finding my happy and went into school. Terrified. Guys, I was off the timeline. Off the timeline. In my classes, there were 18-year-olds. I was 6 years older than them. I felt so out of place, right? I kept plodding along. And then catastrophe hits. My grandfather passes away. Emotionally, I just couldn't take going to school and dealing with that grief. So I took off a year. Guys, it took me 7 years. 7 years to graduate college. Graduated with a 3.9 GPA, but it took me 7 years. That's not a timeline that I thought I was going to be on. That's not something that when I was 18 I thought, yes, I am going to be 32 years old and graduating. No, I never thought about it that way, right? But it happened. Does it make me any less of a person? No. Does it make me any less of a teacher? Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I think it makes me a better one. I had a little bit more real world experience with education because it took me so long. I was able to practice my theory while I was a pilot sub, right, guys? My old babies remember those days. So don't put yourself on anybody else's timeline. It doesn't take away from you. Didn't take away from me, right? So like I'm going to always tell you guys, be authentically you. Do what makes you happy. Find your passion. If you don't know what it is, try everything. Make all kinds of mistakes. From those mistakes you learn. Right? My babies also know that I am a big advocate on mistakes. Mistakes should hurt, but mistakes should learn from. So go make mistakes. It'll be okay, right? You'll find where your passion lies. You'll find the things that you love to do. I know I love talking to you. I love teaching you. I love helping you become successful people. That's my thing, right? I love creating lesson plans that are engaging for young adults. I love those things. I love scaring. I love creating, right? There's so many things that I love. So I do them all. On nobody's timeline, on nobody's plan, but my own. And I am living with joy. Living with joy, because I'm not on anybody else's timeline. I don't have to worry. So free yourselves. Don't worry about everybody else's timeline. You worry about yours. And you get to create your own. And even if you don't achieve anything until you're my age, does it take it away? No, you still achieved it. You still got it. Until next time, my loves, be happy, be safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, stay away from people. I love you all with my heart.